TC still running good. Swampy still clean. Tina G fresh back off some activities. So an end of show review, end of season review. Swampy's missed out this season because Ruby took over, but we know he's nice and clean. Tina G's not as clean in the engine bay, but is clean on the body. Swampy just needs a dust down, but still clean. Tina's in the stable there, Tina G. So 2 in the stable there. TC fully loaded with spares for Project Bramble. If you look through the windows, it's chock full of panels they've been building up. Let's go and have a look. Last time you looked, this wasn't here. We've got a new garage. Let's go inside, check it out. Just starting to, it'll echo a little bit now. Just starting to acquire and move in all the necessary parts for the Project Bramble 2-door restoration. Spot welder there. Stuff been boxed up in these very nice handy lid heavy duty storage cases. Krypton machine, we've seen that in an earlier film. We'll be doing a Krypton test soon, but not on this vid. Welder in the middle there, getting ready for when the shell turns up. So a quick catch up and a walk round, end of season walk round for all the cars. So Bramble in prime, Ruby in prime position. 7,870 miles since I restored it, and just by keeping on top of the cleaning you can keep them tip top. No real problems in the engine bay, it just wipes down and nothing's really worn out. Paint stayed good, as I've said before. People asked me to do a little bit of a walk around after the season, so here we are. The chrome's nice. Whoops, caught the camera there, come on, tripod here. Coach line's all good. Coming round to the back. Okay, so we've got ourselves a nice car that's held out throughout the last year and it's been all over the place. Let's have a look inside, see how the interior's fared. So all cards good. Interior nice. No wears on the wheel. Nothing to report except it's still in tip top. Seats have been good. No wear on that dyed vinyl that we did. There's a lot of mileage on it, so that's definitely worked. All round the car's held out nicely with all weathers thrown at it. Actually, in this light, you're actually able to get a good view of it. It's very bright in this garage. I'm looking at on my viewfinder there and that's looking pretty clean. Pretty well exposed rather, should I say. Right, so how do we do underneath? We're on a heated floor as well, so it's quite good just to lay down. With my tripod I'm going to have to just flex it, there we go. So that brake pipe just wants straightening, but otherwise can see everything's good. A few little chips here and there, I'm just looking at a few. Some stone chip marks. I see one at the bottom of the door, a couple on the sill. That's where the car's been getting the battering, around here. Not stone guarded this one, which I don't really regret. It's ironic because it's had more use in 1 year than the other cars did, and the other cars are stone guarded. You can see that this lower panel gets the stick. It's not that bad, but there is, oh no, that's come off. I thought that was a chip. These do get a bit of stick, but it's still clean. Under the arches there have stayed nice. Obviously some mud on them, but it does wipe down good. I'll go under the back axle so you can see. On the whole, I'm happy with that level. I'm not looking for mirrors underneath concourse, I'm looking for clean, tidy, usable daily driving. So as long as you keep it clean, don't let it get out of control. Let it get out of control, you end up with a nice, usable, clean looking car that's not a problem to get out every weekend and in the summer every day. Nice coach lines there, good paint finish. Happy with how that's fared over the year, really made up really. Actually, it's better than what I thought, which is good. It's good to get to that position. I think it's a job well done, Project Ruby. So, we looked round, looked at those two cars, looked at the estate car to close the season up because it's mid-November now and it's coming to an end. So before I finish with all these road trip films, I thought we'd just end up in the garage, the new garage, so you could see the new garage and the car and the situation as it stands. Some panels there, they're going on bramble. Slam panel on the front lower, we've got the full on panels for the front, nearly a whole section of panels. And then, as I say, garage, starting to build up the kit to make it a nice garage. Now it's going to be a servicing garage when the welding on Bramble's done. But whilst Bramble's getting welded, obviously this car won't be in. And some of these tools won't be here so they don't get damaged by welding and grinding. Stuff like the Krypton will move. Snap on, probably just put another sheet over the shelves. And we'll just have the tools such as the welder, spot welder, angle grinding, cutting discs and stuff like that. So that it'll be very bare in here. I've got some workbenches arriving that are on wheels, so we can have a mobile. Everything wants to be mobile in here. Those boxes I'll take out, store them elsewhere. So we're done there for a quick check up and a channel catch up to see the state of play. Things have been moving. Inside our Krypton, we've got an old, well, it wasn't with the Krypton, but I've come across it when I've been moving stuff around, and it's a John Moore's 1976-77 home shopping catalogue. Now, you may remember those. If you're my age, you're going to remember them. No internet. It's off to the catalogue. These had everything in them. So why don't we, now that we've done the walk around, one last check. I'll go back to the catalogue, I've not forgot, hang on, just to see where I am. Just sat by Ruby in a very nice warm 21 degrees, having cleaned the garage up, rolled Ruby in and got ready. I've now got spare time, I'm ahead of the game. I've got Bramble arriving, that's the 2-door GXL, arriving out the dippers next week, so we've got a calm before the storm, if you will, where we can just tidy up and organise. I've also organised all the tools into the case, into the snap-on case. I can't believe I ever lived without one of these. It's one of them things, once you've got it, you wonder how you managed. They're just so handy. Back to the catalogue. I'm going to pop the tripod over so I can use both hands. Make sure my hands are clean. Then we're going to have a flick through the catalogue. And let's see if we can remind ourselves, anyone of my era, growing up in the 70s, all your toys, all the things mum and dad would have bought around the house are all going to be inside here. Fashions, clothes, you know, even we'll have a car section in this. So if we thumb through this now, if you want to switch off now and you don't want to go through the catalogue, I'm going to spend the rest of the video thumbing through this catalogue. Why not? It's one of those things which you could put your feet up now if you want. I could spend half an hour going through this. And it would be for people who are really interested. Now you might think, is that going to make for any footage? But you'd be surprised how addictive it might be to just keep looking page by page through this, because each page I turn now is going to be a different memory for you, if you're of that age. And indeed even 80s stuff would roll over from this. So 70s, 80s folks, growing up in that time, fancy a little skip through memory lane in the John Moore's 76, 77 catalogue? Join us. Let's have a look. Okay, so here we have it. Repeat C from Cortina City. And this is Home Shopping with John Moore's 76, 77 catalogue review. Let's have a look. So opening up, I'm hoping that's right centred in your screen, that you can see it clearly. Little tear on the cover, but in overall good presentable order here. An inflation beating pan set at $9.99, 50p a week for 20 weeks. Straight into the fashions then. Look at this. Some offers, but we're straight in, there's no doubt. You're into hardcore 70s straight away. And this is a bit upper class. This hairstyle here, and these clothes. We've got a bit of a posh lady going on there, and solicitor boyfriend or high flyer. Smoking is frowned upon now, of course. Highly illegal. Advertising cigarettes. So, well, not quite advertising cigarettes, but yeah. Wow, look at that, stripes. That does look 80s. That was quite common, that red and grey. If you ignore the lady. A pair of curtains like that once. 85. Bell bottoms. Even the denim didn't escape the bell bottoms. Classic bike there. Daytona yellow, and then some coats. So we're into fashions. And it just looks exactly as you would have expected. I mean, this is just classic. That zigzag brown, light brown, and then the flares, and then pretty boring clothes, to be fair. I think purple, beret. Classic colours though. I mean, both Cortina colours, rare purple velvet, tawny brown metallic. Bell bottoms on them. Look at. I mean, look at the line down that. Whoomp, straight down like a 70s Cadillac, square cut. Awful material here. Generally disappointing fashion. Look at the state of that. You know, 2 legs in that one. Hope you're with me as we flick through the 70s, because the whole thing, you know, my whole channel is around the 70s, so this is in keeping with the channel. I hope that you don't think I'm going off track or digressing, but we're all on a 70s theme. with Cortina City. So anything like this, I mean the Krypton machine's been popular. It's that popular there might be another one arriving, but so all this kind of stuff is interesting because it's all our era, isn't it? We're all of that age. That's a little bit more, I like that a little bit more. There, it's starting to get a bit Sweeney. Linda Bellingham, we're getting a little bit Linda there. I just don't like these flares. I just don't really do justice to a lady's figure, I don't think. Now these evening dresses here, okay, I mean it's not really showing much. It's basically completely covered. There's a little bit of a V there and a little bit at the back, but they're quite conservative really. Nice hair, I must admit that's quite good. This is, you know, Lady Muck from the estate, you know, a Wendy dress. There's Linda Bellingham again. Not actually Linda Bellingham. I think that's more like a good resemblance of Linda. These outfits, sort of more playful type stuff going on there. We're doing a lot on the fashion here. We want to keep moving on a little bit quicker. A bit more joyful here now. Polyester, of course, there. There's the age range from 18 to, what, 18 to 50s, 18 to 40 here, really. Most of these girls in the, I don't know, 25 to 35 perhaps. So quite heavy on ladies' fashion in the catalogue so far. Getting onto the winter range now. A bit ABBA now, so you've got your ABBA video here where they go skiing, silhouetted. So that's influenced by ABBA there. Of course, they would have popularised that fashion with their videos. They were big at the time, 76. I must be coming up to the peak. This is rubbish. Terrible. I mean, look, that big, warm, comfy, horrible bleak. Ugh, look at that toggle buttons. It just does nothing. It's just not like the 50s, for example. You take the fashions of the 40s and the 50s. I think it's better for the lady's image, I think. Cocktail party now. We're out on the town. It's the latest James Bond film, Moonraker. That's probably 80s, Moonraker. Saturday Night Fever would be around now. Well, let's get out of this section. What the hell's he playing at? Jean-Michel Jarre. I think you can all see where this is. Oh, now then, the age has changed. And we go for you. I'd pick F. What about you? Getting more mature. Oh my god. So I'll sort of let you make your own minds up about this. Not really know what's going on with E. What do we call E? Full length 40 denier nylon night dress. It's a small one-man tent. Okay, so on to the nightwear. Looks like Betty from Frank Spencer would wear something like that. From some mothers do have them. And these padded quilt things, last time I saw one of those, it was covering up a torn seat on a Mark III XL Cortina. Now, this is the best look I've seen so far, even though these kind of things I don't really think are any good either, but that's about as sultry as it's got. Or maybe that one. Ladies' night fashion then, ladies' underwear coming up. Wonder Bra still existed. Even then, you think it was something from the 90s, but look, Wonder Bra was out then. This would have been essential viewing for a coming of age young lad in the 70s, you can see what I mean by these areas there. The classic see-through. Bit of a hangover from the 50s and 60s, the pointed shaped ones. You see those on the films where the ladies curiously had two cut down traffic cones under the dress and you wondered why. This stuff, never really understood what was going on. Here, this, I mean, looks a bit difficult. No access, no entry. Sort of, there is there, no entry there. MILF in the top. It's getting raunchier. We escaped lucky, guys and girls. We've escaped lucky. I hope this isn't a sexist film. Onto your leather boot wear. Suede and leather. Move along. Shoes we won't do. They're all awful. Men's shoes, would I pick any? Jack Regan shoes on the accelerator at the beginning of the Sweeney intro. We're going to skip the shoes and the baby wear we don't want. Children's fashions. Let's get to the high karate. Move that away. Not coats. Well, so we've just done a fashion thing in the first 10 minutes. We don't really want to. Oh, what's that car? Now then. Okay, it looks like an MG there on a J. Similar colour to May's, is it right, MG? Yeah, looks like it. Can't tell what that is. The angle I've got the camera, I can't quite see back of that car. Can we ID that? If it was Cortina and I didn't spot it, I'd be in a lot of trouble. Let me double check what we've got going on, because it looks similar to a Cortina. No, it's not, because of the chrome on the bottom. I'll get away with that. Burt Reynolds there. Savio Ballesteros. And now for your Terraline shirts, your crease free, your iron free, your classic Reagan kipper ties. It's going to be kipper ties all round for you. Tops, Pringle, sort of imitations. Santa on a motorbike. Andy Williams. Everyone looking happy. Your leather driving gloves. That gives you a lot more purchase on the wheel. You get a nice grip. These are a worthwhile investment. So's an umbrella. Pyjamas. Wow. I mean, you know, isn't this what's it called with Arthur and Mildred? What's it called? George and Mildred. George's pyjamas there. Of course, your Y-fronts had to be. And look, this 70s. Yeah. Can always pause on that bit if it's your bag. These look like they're too old to be. They should be retired. When am I getting work clothes? Wow! Oh yeah. Basic, cut down version. Just start. I mean, okay, at least it's got a start. Orange, your spinny iron. Whoa! Now then, remember these twin tubs? The original twin tub was a lot more classier looking. This is very straight cut 70s lines. The original twin tub was very curvy and what they call auto influenced, auto styled, where it was sort of round and pastel colours. They just had everything white and brown panelling at the back. Not connected with this unless it's a lid for the top of them. Sometimes these had a lid at the top. So twin tub, a spinner at the side, and then you agitator cone, slosh backwards and forwards, slosh. Interesting how that worked with a crank at the bottom here and a motor on an arm and just a crank action. The bearings used to wear out. I remember them coming round to our house, and as a child sticking my head in the back of one of them, much against the advice of the service engineer. Zanussi then for your front loaders. £8 and £9, £10 loadings. Front filter access, nice. Mechanical clock for your programmer. Push out, pull in, programming wheel there. Split loading, conditioner and powder. That's an interesting one. What do you call it? Mangle? Feeding in. Oh, come on for classic. Remember them. Hit that bad boy. Look at that wall mounted hot water heater. And that still looks 50s. You've got to say, look at this chrome banding on there. A sort of, just that shape there says 50s to me. Pastel colour there, and then some. I mean, that's just not changed. That design's carried across. That's a 50s design, I'm sure. Then we'll want to check it. The Creeder Corvette, wall mounted, probably a 1 kilowatt fast boiler. Classic, absolutely. I remember those. I wish I had one of them. I do like the style of that. These refrigerators. I think that they lost something. Everything was just square, so they never really stuck out. You know, as a design classic, if you will, just because there's just nothing in it. It's just brutalist, really. Square, chop, chop, chop. You know, the closest you get to some kind of classic status with it would just be if it was a particular unusual design. And here inside, you obviously got tails that it's the 70s, but that to me looks like a 50s inside in a square box. This blue again with the icicle logos on. What kind of products have we got inside? There's some Canada Dry there, so someone was up for a G&T, although no sign of the gin. Some Spam, Dairy cream, very large cucumber, Pepsi. Now look at that logo for the Pepsi logo. Is that a 330ml bottle on the Pepsi, next to some ginger beer. Can't see what that water is. 2 green peppers, 5 piccolo tomatoes. Oh no, not piccolo, too big for piccolo tomatoes. A piece of cake and some ham. Oh, look at the pint glass there. Remember that size pint glass? And when the new pint glass came out, everyone being amazed at school when we saw one saying, no way, that's a pint, and it was. A jamboree in your deep freezer. Stick your ham in there. More of the same on appliances. Onto the cookers. Well, classic orange finish. Your 4-ring hob. Again, not sure the wattage, but 2.5 the power. Sometimes they're all the same power. A built-in time clock there. Probably a synchronous one, whatever they were called. Don't forget, don't let your milk boil over. Remember trying to clean them when you boiled over the milk and you had to get down into the little, underneath where the element is. Okay, so an array of controls across the top. Oven and element. I don't think they were fan assisted in them days. Seemed to be a later thing. Nice colour. Now this has got some style. Again, though it's square, but we've got avocado green, autumn bronze and blue for your Belling Classic. Double 90 Deluxe 4-ring cooker. I actually quite like that. That's a nice piece. I'd have one of those. Just like the fact you can get them colours in it, and they've got a bit of chrome going on. So that's good. Do like that cooker. Do we get them looking out for one of those. Kettles. Well, that's not really jumping out. That could be now. So these haven't dated, to be fair. Oh, remember that one, the Swan. Because remember this classic, almost like the telephone receiver design, the chirpy telephone. Pink Floyd then for your meat mincer. Push your mince down, out it comes at the end. Soda Stream, Kenwood. Ham for slicing the ham, but they already do it at the deli in the supermarket now, so they're not as pop as used to be. Blenders still in vogue. That could be a juicer of today, really there. Some things don't really change that much. This technology for these blenders is exactly the same. The motor may be a bit more efficient, but principle exactly the same. Remove to clean, that's not changed. Meat slicer, not used as much. Whisk's not really changed. You remember these oranges? Mum would have one of these and dip it in, making the cakes. Not really much different there. Of course, Hoover technology, or vacuum technology. Hoover's a brand, and there we have Hoover. The Goblin, Grandad had a Goblin. They were noisy buggers, them. They were. The Hoover Freedom Cleaner, light to handle and quick in action. 750 watt motor on, that's a lot of power in a small unit. Oh, this bad boy, that looks like Canine the dog off Doctor Who. A couple of wheels on him, spray him silver, you're good to go on the 600 watt swivel top cylinder cleaner by Philips. Spinny there, I think that's some kind of unknown brand. Goblin again, taking a lion's share. Muleneck's having a cheeky go with a little handheld. Maybe Dyson took some tips from them. 650 watt on your Electrolux, finished in an orange end cap, the classic Electrolux logo there, the sort of fawn in dark chocolate brown if you really want to go for it to match your Tyrolean shirt. And then precursor to Henry, look, see there's nothing new under the sun. Your dome, your little robot dome, your R2-D2 styled vacuum. Then the uprights, the classic, this is one we remember. Flip the lid, that goes back, bags in the top. Cannot remember if that was speed control or vacuum power control at the top. Goblin with illuminated front, still looking a bit 50s. Classic there. Spinny again, seem to be having a good crack at the whip. Hot on the tails of Creeder and the rest of the crew from Electrolux. Here, some different designs. The Hoover Starlight upright cleaner with tools. Your Hoover with your classic bag. Remember that on the cord and the flexi spring, and that Nana had one of them. All covered in muck. Light at the front. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Hoover goes off around the house with the lights lit up. Lights, some of these were classics. These Italian inspired lights. Oh yeah, and it is Italian style lights. I was going to say, wow, remember them catching fire and burning the house down. Bar fires then. Let's talk bar fires. The total heat output 2,850 watts on the Belling Cresta Suite. Now look at that bad boy. Put your books in the side, not too close of course. These would sometimes have a light bulb and a very clever little disc with vanes in it, like a propeller. Would work on principle of the heat rising on a very fine needle point bearing, basically thin aluminium punched out little disc with vanes in it, and the convection from the hot bulb would turn the bulb round. It'd spin on like a spinning top, and that would create reflection on here, and you'd get the effect of flames underneath there, and you would stick your feet in front of that. So plenty of bar fires were big. We all know this, that this is your classic 70s bar fire setup. A massive choice then of bar fires. That's an interesting one. Ripping Giles Radiant tank capacity. So that's oil. Go on to oil. Paraffin oil heaters. Fancy a house fire, anybody? Check it out. Electric blankets now. You can electrocute yourself and burn yourself to death with your electric blanket. Never really understood them. We never had an electric blanket. Heard about them. Never had one. Heard about them going wrong. Of course, home salon kit. Remember these things in the catalogue, but never actually seen one being used. My family never had one of those hair drying type setups. Heated rollers. Remember those in Mum's room. And of course, now for Dad. These bad boys, these would chew you up. You'd have a go when you were in the bathroom, Dad was out. You didn't have no stubble, but you'd just see what the heck it was all about. Grandad had one. These used to be filled with all bits of black beard and stuff, and all jam up. And remember, you can press a little lever and it doesn't all clip out. Never used one, I remember them. These are classics. Feast your eyes on that, because I'm sure you're gonna bring back some memories here on these battery shavers. The batteries used to all get, because it was in the bathroom, all get corrode, and then all the battery acid would leak out and it all go rusty on the cheaper versions. They didn't have waterproof versions of these. At least let's just see if it is, because I thought the waterproof ones would come in later. Remington, of course, the guy bought the company, liked it that much. You remember the advert from Remington. Interesting on the shavers there. Oh, radio cassette, what we got, look at this. Waltham, Radiomobile, they were a good brand. Pi, okay, very 70s looking, so this will give you a good idea if you're trying to look at for a period piece for your car, for your Cortina. There's the classic, that's a nice piece of kit. These Radiomobiles are good sets. Classic design, not really changed much over the decade of the 70s. Towards the end of the 70s all started going digital, so the mid 70s here. Roberts, what looks like a Roberts. That should be, it looks, if it's not, it's a copy. Fidelity, hot on the heels, copying Roberts' classic design of radio casing. Couple of cheaper end, your Waltham, ready to chew your best, ready to chew your dad's aber tape up. And then this one, great for picking up, did you used to pick up Concorde? I used to pick up Concorde flying over St Catherine's and landing at Heathrow, or Stansted, can't remember which, I think it was Heathrow. Grandad had one of these, he used to stay in London and listen in to the radio, aircraft transmissions. So great stuff on the radios. We all had one of these in our house. Radio cassette. Quite rugged looking piece of kit. Front loaders and top loaders. What's that one? Is that similar to the one I've got? Actually got one in here. A radio cassette. The consoles. Do you want me to carry on with this, or do you want me to do a part 2? If it's successful, we're halfway through the catalogue, everybody. If anyone's interested, I'll continue flicking through, or you can just skip out now, because the rest of this film's going to be going right through this catalogue. Look at these, the harp system, Waltham again, Bush. Look at this, home studios, Alba, and we're going on to televisions I think in a minute. Little set, Crown, Wharfdale. Well, surprisingly not seen any televisions yet, hoping that there are. They might not have television here. Of course, your stylophone, there he is, you know what I mean. Bon Tempi. Whoops, careful on that, some guitars. Marshall amp, home use. And now we've got, actually, they could actually buy records. What we got? Elton John. Mike Oldfield, that's got to be Tubular Bells. No, part 1, part 2. 8-track cartridge available. Rod Stewart's Atlantic Crossing, classic album. I never knew there'd be Simon & Garfunkel. Never knew you'd be able to get records out of these. I suppose it makes sense. Poufet, we called these. See them anymore. Dining trolley, teak wall display cabinet thing. Ugh, remember them chairs? Display units, they were classic. I mean, it's just, does that look like your room? Let me know. Any of this stuff rings any bells with you? Looking through, so onto furniture, classic 70s all the way. I mean, it is very iconic. You know, if you were going to recreate something like this, this catalogue would be really good as reference material. I remember these. I'm sure my granddad had that with that orange and black unusual colour combination for the 2 and 3 piece sofas. Brown's the predominant colour, isn't it? Brown and orange. And I think you'll agree that they were the colours you always associate with the 70s. Also that onyx type green, There it is again. Greens, creams, browns. Okay, so a typical, well, I could have mocked this up for the catalogue, but I doubt it based on that light source coming in through the window. That probably is a house, although sometimes to get these angles you don't have any walls, so you usually build these places because you can't actually get the shot that you need. Andy might know better, but okay, look at this classic standalone unit, so not a fitted kitchen. Look like all just, although this bit perhaps, but yeah, they have got your units there. There's that belling, is that the belling again? Okay, so more fitted kitchen, then your units here, pick your units out. She's nice. Well, sort of bit of signs of life there. Cat playing with a ball of wool there. A seemingly innocent time. Strap heels on the lady. Ooh, classy. And then these Mum and Dad's bedroom then, with the mirror and set in, all lit up over the top. MFI did stuff like this and it all fell to pieces, if you recall. The hinges would just rip out. Remember those, had one of them. These funny wicker type finish, and then that was like a storage thing for the bottom of the bed. Bringing back any more memories now. Mum and Dad's room, then onto the kids' room. Oh, I remember them camp bed, spongy camp. We had a bunk bed as kids. Divan was a big word. Look at that. You couldn't make that one up. A little bit psychedelic hangover there. And that's his 60s hangover. Mattresses, curiously with two hands on. I remember these plastic air vents in the side of the mattress as well. It was always interesting. I remember wondering what the hell they were for. Raunchy. Ooh. Orange is the colour there, look at that. Like a hovercraft. Like down to the hoverport there in Dover. Take off there, stick a couple of fans under that and you could fly down the street on that one. More 70s duvet covers. And then getting on to Grandma's room. Yeah. Okay, Silent Night. Some 100% continental style quilts. So Spinny are big. They're even doing bedwear. They've infiltrated even the bed linen market. I had a go at doing a food blender Spinny, but they're all over the place. Look, totally winning the battle for page space in this catalogue. Breakfast in bed for that lucky lady there. Careful you don't spill your tea. Net curtains are twitching and swish, a classic for your curtain rails and runners. Swish then in orange there. A variety of colours on the curtain tracks. There's all sorts of different materials available to make the pleats move along the track, but you would fix these plastic tracks along and then clip the cleats and clips into the curtains, and off you go. You could build your own curtain system. And on we go to the sofas now. Tweed look, single jersey stretch covers. If you're on the budget, if you're on the cheap, you got an old piece of junk you got off the skip, or you've got a tired suite, you could just stretch cover across and cover a multitude of sins. And now look at these, simple way of dressing a circular table. Interesting dress there. There's that girl again with those curly locks. And carpets, of course. Wow, you know, you don't want to be taking acid then looking at this. This is the Emilion Purple Haze, Jimi Hendrix inspired almost clover styled, embezzled carpet. Play a game of cards on there and you're sure for a big trip out. Okay, so look at this side now for the, again with the Emulon carpet in orange with the scary doll. That's going to freak out anyone on an acid trip. And talking about a trip, just look at that for a paisley swirl in a sort of oriental colour scheme here with the dark blue and gold finish for an oriental feel, and then heading back towards psychedelic and a bit of still art, bananas, apples and grapes with a porcelain mug to boot. Taking an important phone call there, girl from the 70s, classic British Telecom phone in ivory. And look at this, I remember this colour, more pastel blues and dark blues, again the oranges and reds and the browns to boot to finish it all off. And then your shag pile, you thought it was a swear word, it's not, it's actually true. Shag pile sounds rude, but it's that deep pile finish. Fall back on that at Christmas time as a child and watch the world go by as everybody else evolves. So we're into carpets, rugs, centre of the universe there, swirls like the nebulae. But look at this, I mean, you know, that's a circular rug, like the middle of the sun, 55 million degrees, or like a nuclear explosion, poof, as it radiates out. Wow. So keeping on flipping through the pages of rugs, and then double-sided tape, the obligatory necessity to stick you down. And oh, here we go. I mean, it doesn't get much more 70s than this. These strange adornments to the base of the porcelain pan. So here's your porcelain pan, could be clay base with a high glazed finish on it. I don't quite know how it worked. You better talk to Dalton about it, but look at this. To the bottom of the pedestal of the pan you fit these rugs of absolutely no purpose at all other than to collect urine and to sort of gloss over it. We finish it in these colours. I mean, this is classic 70s. You've got your brown, your orange and your white, back to your brown again to create that classic iconic colour combination. So we've no idea what this was all about, this horseshoe shaped, frilly edged, deep piled, and this you could say is shag pile, matte, if you will, which you would have to put in the washing machine because it's, you know, it's in the firing line, especially on a Friday night. I mean, look, it looks like there's been some kind, it looks like the War of the Worlds here. The red weed has took over, but in this case it's brown with a, now then I've forgotten the name of that plant. It's just not a spider plant. It's a plant in the background. Curiously, in the corner, a jug could be empty, could have water in it. Either way, we're not going to know. But it's all very mysterious. What was going on here with these? Now we're going to get some colour scheme rundowns. Brown, very imaginative, quite conservative down description. Turquoise, purple and green, so they've kept to the colour spectrum. Richard of York gave battle in vain for that colour spectrum. Above it, a bit more imaginative, copper, white, Wedgwood and lemon. I like that lemon, very nice. Okay, so moving on. Bathroom sets now struggling to make an escape. They're holding on for dear life with this kind of faux deep shag pile effect. Then we go on to bath towels. Does that do it for you? Hang them up on hooks, various piles, plain dried towels, a jacquard range. Okay, so we now have the shower curtains. Okay, so if you're looking for raunch, wrap a shower curtain around the wife in different colours. Bath taps there. Have we got the hose that fits onto the end of the bath tap? Bit of makeup now for some mirrors. And now we take a bath. In we go, turquoise blue, aqua, the whole thing says aqua. Bit of makeup, bit of deep gloss red and lip gloss as we move on. Curiously, switching from bath appliances to scales. I don't know what they're measuring there. It's brown and crumbly. Hansen, of course, classic name in weight measurement. So Pyrex is, of course, here having a pop at a crack at the whip. Pyrex famous for heat glass. Smiths always for your clocks, a reliable system. If you pick Smiths, you're going to get a reliable chronological system. Hansen, also famous in the scales, of course, as I said. Now let's talk bins. Stainless steel. This could be any time. I'm gonna frame it off. Go there, and that could be now. So we've not really advanced with the bins. Not really much of interest in the bins. Non-stick was a new idea. Well, I say new idea. It's a spin-off of the space industry. Teflon for your non-stick. Chemical composition. We'd have to go into that onto Wikipedia, but suffice to say that it's quite resilient to things sticking to it, namely cooked food products. For Teflon, in this case marketed by Skyline, presumably they've got a license to sell the Teflon range, although I'm not seeing Teflon mentioned there. Perhaps there's a loophole. Non-stick. I always thought Teflon was design copyright. We'll check that out. So we're into the cooking section of the catalogue, and we're nearly coming to an end now. Thanks for bearing with us. Red was the colour. Traditional, of course. We've not seen any Cornish ware yet, so there might not be any at this point. Cornish ware could have been finished. This kind of emblems and motifs were classic 70s stuff. Fine china, crystal ware, like Jim Bowen, like Bullseye, where you win, Sale of the Century, your crystal decanter and glasses, you remember that well. Candles, of course, very 70s. Silverware, and now your ironing boards, your knife sets, stuff like that. Now these baskets, look at these baskets. Now this is a Judge 127 Turbo. Why they call it a turbo, I have no idea. Judge 127 Turbo with a quick release flip lid, centre operated, of course, right in the epicenter of the webbing. Pop that lid off, stick your dirty linen in there and throw it down the stairs. We used to climb inside these and roll down the stairs in those, but ours were blue, the same blue as this ironing board. So there you go, what they call the arabesque basket, an absolute, what would you say, an absolute tribute to plastic. Look at that. On to the next page. We're talking carpet cleaners now. We're talking a Eubank 1030, okay? Dial control, adjust from floor to carpet, specially designed spiral brush to dig out the dirt. So the Eubank 1030 floor digger, single action lever, pops down, easy opening pan for easy cleaning, an independent wheel suspension with metal casing, with furniture protecting bumper. Just check that bad boy apart right out there. Look at this. You can adjust the height. Furniture protecting ABS bumper system at the side. Double chrome layered T-bar handle there in the middle. Center pivoting bearing. Multi-link bearing system. Limited slip differential. One push operation. And you're good to go. You're going to get the nastiest stains out your carpet right away. Just one push and you're good to go. We're going to put this on special offer, save £2, £9.86. Pitched up against that in bright red, and I believe that's one of 4 colours available, is the Line Fight Totoro 4-system operation bristle. Okay, so you're going to flip it on the underside now and look at this double helix here, and that's the genius of it, the double helix. Okay, counter wound, so when you're pushing that across, you've got the counter wound action. That's going to bring the dirt right out in one push, less effort. And then just to back it off, 2 symmetrically mounted right at the top corners, like almost like a mini, where you put the wheels right at the front to keep it balanced. These nylon bristled counter rotating scrubbing brushes there to bring the dirt right into the middle. And look at the colour scheme. Okay, dial offset, top right hand corner to the left, lemon, Rosso red, and in this colour here you've got the deep blue, so a free colour option for it by Line Fight. Spinny hot on the heels with their version, slightly lower quality. We've seen Spinny earlier on when I've mentioned about Spinny trying to take on the entire market for all the products in this catalogue. Colour schemes, okay, so the Spinny in red contrasting the colours, a deeper red on the Line Fight, Spinny sort of losing it there and sort of heading towards the orange side of the spectrum, and again on their blue, not so much blue. Okay, some ISAL uprights as well. And now let's talk hanging up the clothes. There's those high heels we spotted, those strap high heels, there they are on the Spinny shoe rack. Again, Spinny. Line Fight coming up with a curtain cleaning tool. Plaisu for another clothes bin, this time in a paisley pattern, a bit like the psychedelic 60s. Okay, again with the detachable lid, but this time with a side release system built in. Globe spinner there, good up to gale force 10. So sorry, gale force 8 for that one, not guaranteed after gale force 8. Comes with an optional anchoring system if you're in the Highlands. Okay, let's talk paint. Spinny again, cornering the market on the paints. They've obviously done a licensing deal with Dulux there. And then again, here she is, our girl with the curly locks, Goldilocks. This time with a dress which I wish she would have worn earlier on, because why do we only get to see this dress here in a small picture when she should have worn that earlier on? I've got to really say I'm disappointed about that. Classic orange 70s wallpaper there. Let's talk insulation. Remember the Save It scheme from the 70s when the government gave incentives, financial incentives for us all to lag our lofts. Make sure you wear gloves because this is glass fibre insulation, deadly stuff. You don't want to be breathing it in. Put it between the floor joists there. Make sure you've got a mask on, or get someone, an elder, to do it for you because it's dangerous stuff. Lag your hot water cylinder with a paisley jacket. There's no reason why you'd finish the jacket in paisley. It has no bearing upon the heat saving qualities of the system. It's much easier just to take a plain colour. Take it from me. Lag your pipes. Make sure you do, very important. Okay, and we go to home security. And what we would say here is that when the burglar breaks in, not if the burglar breaks in, but when the burglar breaks in. Clever psychology there, implying that someone will actually break in to your house when the burglar breaks in. Okay, tools. So carpentry, oh, very dangerous activity going on now. A choice of ladders. The guy could have gone for A, B, C or D. It's a ladder lottery. He's gone for option B with the paint tub. No paint protection on his hands or anything like that. Just decided that the paisley shirt's worth the risk as he goes up, presumably trying to repaint the bay window, but I must suggest that you sand it down first. Okay, Sandvik, a big name, still going, popular in saws. Tenon saw and hand saw. Sandvik, still market leaders in saws, so they've done well to sustain their market share. Stanley still going, of course, for the planes. Black & Decker, it's a no-brainer. There's the workmate in its early form. Still going strong. And don't forget your Wolf drill, ready to electrocute you at the earliest moment. All metal casing, no such thing as double insulation in those days. Live touches the casing. If you're not earthed, you're good to go straight to the pearly gates with your Black & Decker. We're moving on, we're getting on. There's a tile cutting machine. No, it's a bench saw, it's a tile cutting machine. Various plethora of, I remember that in avocado. Look at that, an avocado with orange mains lead jigsaw. Oh, it doesn't get much more 70s than that. Avocado and orange for your jigsaw. SIP still going for your welders. Classic car enthusiasts, take note. Of course, we're on Cortina City, so this is quite appropriate. An SIP 140, that could be right out of today's machine mark catalogue. Change that for red, you're good to go. So we've got some welding stuff. The heat gun kit from Weller. Weller's still big in soldering irons, and the Weller trigger operated instant heat gun still popular and still going, so that's never changed. It's funny how some things never do. Your cantilever opening tool set there, a candidate for rust. Socket sets, die and tap and die sets, full on socket set there. Wheel trims available. Savage 500. Well, we know that Savage did a Cortina. No relation, of course. Savage 500 wheel trims. We're into the car mechanic section of the catalogue. How exciting is this? Let's flip the lid and see what we've got. Remember these crank handle socket bars? They just don't have those anymore. You know, they must have been really never forgetting the old crank cars when they did those. An eco trolley jack, single post trolley jack. Easy bleed, look at this. Okay, Gunson, still going. I bought one only the other week for £19.95 from Halfords. Easy bleed, still going. Product P, let's see what it says. Product P is going to be Gunson's Easy Bleed brake and clutch bleeder kit with multi-purpose reservoir cap for operation by one person. That is still a player. That's still going. Tune-up analyzer, tune-up kit, so that's in tune with, excuse the pun, the Motormaster by Krypton. A heated rear, vinyl roof kit. Karsh's vinyl roof kit. Product M, let's read it up. Smith's rear window heater. Keeps window mist free and cleans frost in minutes. So you could stick that on. Sorry, product L was the right vinyl roof kit. Karobi's luxury vinyl roof kit gives your car the executive look. Requires 2 persons to fit it. Requires the wax polish, not the paint, to be rubbed off with abrasive cloth when fitted. Only improves the outward appearance of the car, but also insulates against excessive heat and cold. I can't see how that works, seeing that it's black. Hang on, did I get that right? When fitted, not only improves the outward appearance. Not only improves the outward appearance of the car, but also insulates against excessive heat and cold. Well, that's quite strange. Interesting description of the vinyl roof there. Davin set for your battery chargers, a 6 and a 12 volt option. Do-it-yourself brake kit. Armstrong are doing good with the Red Max 4. Okay, 61 pence for 38 weeks on your shock absorbers. And look at this, a service toolkit for Ford cars. Half shaft puller, coil spring compressors, ball joint separator and clutch alignment tool. Check that out, because Ford of course would have been the most popular family car at the time, so it was prudent for the catalogue people to push the items where they'd get the maximum sales. So go for Ford cars at the time. In 76 the Mark III Cortina would have been the big one. So they're kind of service items, although these coil spring compressors are deadly. Ball joint separator may well have worked. Slide hammer, not a problem. That would be doing your rear axle bearing. That's where you'd use that. A 5,000 mile service kit for E. Let's see what E says. Going down to E, 5,000 mile service pack. 5,000 mile service pack of replacement parts comprising set of plugs, points, oil filter and air filter. I mean, not very exciting really, is it? So the service kit, not very interesting then. Basics. Moving on to greenhouses and flamethrowers. We'll look at that straight out of Vietnam, 1967. Burn your way through the jungle in that one. A sheen flamethrower. What they call the, in product description E, is a sheen flame gun, advanced design, heavy duty positive action, pump pressure gauge and control valve, an all welded steel tank. You burn the hell out of your weeds there. Garden equipment then, some rotavators and some panels, fence panels, a cream coloured lawn mower, rotary mower there, not fly mower. Black & Decker taking a good old kit, and Qualcast, you can always rely on Qualcast. Then your sewing machines, not really changed much. Sewing machines, fabric has always been fabric and you have to sew it, so the principle always remains the same. A cotton fed needle with a reciprocating action, mostly cotton, reciprocating action there to create your thread. Typewriters, here we go for typewriters. Well, this has changed. Sewing machine on the left hand side of the catalogue. This would still be relevant right now because you still have to sew, and that's never changed. Down that needle goes, in the thread goes, pulls out. On the right hand side, mechanical typewriter. So mechanical action, a fulcrum action on the keyboard, still QWERTY of course there, QWERTY. A fulcrum action on a lever, producing a hammer action through a ribbon cable impregnated with ink. Hand feed your A4 paper through there to imprint your letter. Totally redundant. Gone. Let's talk calculators. The Rockwell, one of the originals. Rockwell Slimline automatic percentage. Has it got floating point on it? It has got floating point decimal. Wow. Adds, subtracts, multiplies and divides, all in the palm of your hand. Interestingly manicured hand. Sex cells, of course. Big flash for Rockwell there. One of the original slimline calculators. Tactile operation on the orange ochre type. Semi-rounded button finish on your calculator there. 9 volt battery just fitted at the top. Standby time infinite. Of course, because you turn it off, well, internal decomposition of the battery, but actual running time on that 9 volt cell, you get about 70 hours continuous use, which is pretty good. That's a vacuum fluorescent red LED display there, non-alphanumeric, numeric only. Rockwell, one of the originals, no square root button. Okay, so no square root, no tan, cosine. So you couldn't get to the moon on that, but you're not far off. Also available in green. Rockwell are doing the 24K system there with extra options. And there's your square root button. It's in, there it is. You can do square root in other ways. You can actually use an array of abacuses to do square root. Okay, onto the jewellery boxes. Not really interested in musical gifts. Brute then, your bread and butter of men's aftershave. Here in the twin magnum pack, you got your half magnum size eau de cologne spray, and then there what looks like, let's look at, see what is that. That's a gift set of Brute by Faberge. The large talc, that's the talc. So the talc's in the green. Okay, so talc there, also useful for finding air leaks on Mark III Cortina door rubbers. So the full pack there, and then for the ladies, is that for the ladies, the Kiku Faberge? I think it is, in lemon, looking curiously like an orange that's turned to a lemon shape. Mary Quant, a 60s icon, famous on Carnaby Street. Mary Quant, black and white dresses in the 60s, still going strong into the 70s. She's decided to go into this range now, losing her, reaching her zenith, late 60s for Mary Quant in her zenith. And then Tramp by Tweed for Twiggy, the obnoxious smelling Tramp. We still have those in nightclubs today. Mary Chess, an unknown quantity by Worth, not even worth mentioning. Toiletries for gifts. Some porcelain figures, not interested in them. Brute again, ramping it up and putting the pressure on against Old Spice. Old Spice moving into second place now in 76. The Surfer man has clearly drowned against the competition by Faberge with a triple hit. Okay, the talc, the aftershave, and then the underbody spray in a recent innovation of pressurized aerosols. Not good for the environment with the ozone layer there, smack full of dangerous chemicals, but good for the bad for the underarm hair. Sorry, a triple whammy for Brute in the aftershave stakes. And these are men's gifts. We're wilding through the men's gifts there. Travel clock, folding alarm clock. We're onto the beer tap, we're onto the, look at that for sparklers. That's a cartridge, a CO2 pressurized cartridge, 175 psi in the green cartridge, 195 on the purple cartridge. Purple cartridge only available outside of the UK due to the regulations on explosive items, but if you can get hold of them, go for the purple cartridges. You get much more bang for your buck on that one if you're doing your G&Ts. Okay, then a couple of gift sets for the ladies. Solid onyx and brass period telephone alongside the Ronson Lighters. Look at that bad boy, that slimline little baby there. That's going to spark you up continuously for 2 weeks without recharge. I think that's the rechargeable version. Yes, oh no, that's the battery powered one. There is a non-battery powered one. There we go, no wheels, no batteries, no limits on the Calibri. Okay, black's the popular one, but it is available in a cut down version, in a sapphire silver, and then there's your traditional chrome. Your 45 pistol there, traditional look, gift sets for him or her, and of course old style musket gun. Crossbow, highly illegal. I don't know why that's in your old horse and cart. Okay, classic stuff. Legs normally broken off by the time you find those. Delicious Coca-Cola sign and the cuckoo clock. Okay, bit of Hansel and Gretel going on with an interwoven powder-coated white plastic chain holding the old dodgy affair together with a curious trinket at the top. But as I say, watch out for product J, the crossbow, highly dangerous. On to briefcases then. Antler, a popular make, still going strong, and the most popular and high quality supplier of travel wear. This time they're going for the what they call the executive case by Antler, with the Rockwell calculator placed in it and a Parker pen just to the side, a green felt inlay there, implying card games and high flying games in Monaco. You're stationary at the top in this folding leaf design. in brown, fully trimmed in leather, dual chrome, okay, around the outside, multi-action hinges at the side there, non-greasable, so service life forever, no need for any lubricants on that. Leather inlaid handle at the side, and symmetrical, same lock, pivoting locking system for the front of the case there, with a key entry only. Reinforced shell casing in aluminium and steel, aluminium forming the inner layer, and then a steel casing for the outer layer, so that can withstand the most aggressive of terrorist bombs on an aeroplane. We won't go through the leather luggage there because it's quite boring. That's a tortoiseshell leathering. Ladies slimline watches in gold. Seconda now ranking up the hits for their watches on the budget range. Gravano, never heard of those. Timex, of course, an old player in the game. Seconda doing a slimline one. Seconda against Rotary. Okay, Rotary hot on the heels of Omega for the mid-range watches. This one in faux gold. So your 70s watches there, very prominent in the catalogue on watches. A big feature, 20-30 pages on watches. Your rings, say no more, good for car dealing, especially with your sovereigns. St. Christopher, good in the Cortina. There it is, the classic design in gold this time with a fluted ceramic outer layer. 9-carat pendant chain, great for stopping you from smashing into the back of a parked car. St. Christopher then for your Ford Cortina, always bread and butter, dangling off the windscreen wiper washer toggle switch. Trinket switches in silver. Ladies jewellery, there's our lady with curls again. Onto the camera section of the catalogue now. Look at this bad boy, this is a colour swinger. Okay, colours of the spectrum there, quite gay friendly with the rainbow. A wide angle lens there from 8 to 36 aperture with an adjustable iris, automatically focusing, incandescent bulb for the flash, and an electromechanical timer for trouble-free motoring. Doesn't need any batteries on the electrical mechanical, just push that down to load the pre-tensioning spring, set your timer where you want the bullet to go, and you're good to go. Hamrite finish in gold on the top, rubber suction pad for the eye there. That's your colour swinger, good for swingers parties. Don't keep no evidence, no digital, no uploads. No Max Spielman for that one for your wife swapping parties. It's a perfect dead cert. Plenty then on the Instamatic cameras, James Bond style on your slide operation Kodak. Kodak being one of the early players in the home camera market. This one a slimline one designed to go into the holster pocket of your bell-bottom jeans. And then for the mid-range market, your nightclubbers, your car show goers, 4-way cubic flash with a what they call the Mercury flash system. That's where an explosion occurs inside the cube, a cube flash, available in different brightnesses. Tungsten also available for that, but typically metal halide on your Kodamatic, automatic, Instamatic, super duper camera. Japanese imports, hot on the heels again. We keep saying everything's hot on the heels, but it is. It's a competitive world. Everything counts in large amounts, as David Garn once sang. Ever ready powering this bad boy up. This is the Halina Compact with a vertical flash system. Now look at that, stacking up there in true 70s square style. All the lines are straight. Comes with an optional viewfinder and a free pack of Perichrome chrome. The Japanese, of course, with Praktica being the vanguard of the range. They're a 35mm fast winding automatic camera in a various ranges, the Casino, the Praktica and the Zenith there. And if you're really feeling flush, some telescopic lenses available. Into the home cinema market now, 35mm, hand operated playback from Cinerex, so plenty on the market, all pretty much close on the specs. The Canon probably pipping everyone else to the post simply because of the pistol grip. Detachable pistol grip, 35mm, That's a 10mm bolt-on. That's now become the industry standard. Also available in brown, so we're doing pretty good for the cameras. Onto the clocks then. Illuminated clock there, illuminated bedside clock. A bit of a 60s feel to this one with the solid teak base fitting nicely. Old school flip over clock there, set on 1832. I don't know if that's any particular time reference. And then some of the Japanese chrome and luminous face import clocks. Plenty of clocks for the 70s, with the market leader for the 76 being the flip over style in a very simple brushed aluminium and teak. Again, the wall clocks are moving on from the atomic clock. That was popular in the 60s and the 50s. Started in the 50s when the age of the atomic age, where they had the electrons on the end of each spoke, but it became the sun clock, which is a direct descendant from the atomic clock. Okay, sleeping bag arrangements. Of course, you had to be lined in orange and brown brown on the outside. Your typical Swedish girl there looks like she's just been on a mountain side with a tub full of Vosine and a couple of cows with bells on their necks. Camping, of course, we won't say much more about that. Onto the sportswear. We don't really do sportswear. He-Man and He-Man for the Euro shorts and a bike. Adidas, we're losing it now. Tennis rackets and Adidas. Classic 70s stuff. Fishing we don't even want to know about. And now we're coming to the end. We don't do fishing. No one does fishing. It's just a black art. We need to remove the bikes. The bikes. We're on it. They're on it. BSA Tour Britain 10-speed gears. BSA Tour France 10-speed. Sirocco 5-speed. A Javelin. These are rally bikes. These are the real deal. These are rally bikes. These are just great. Look at this. Look what we've got here. The Junior Sports, the Bullet, the Tour de Britain, the Tour de France, the Sirocco, the Javelin, and the Bermuda and the Granada. I mean, they've even kept them in Cortina names. The Granada in red with a Shell logo on the centre post. Look, all having the Shell logo on the centre post. It's obvious who's been sponsoring these people. So the bikes have done really good. What have we got but the Chopper Mark II? Look at that in Rosso red and yellow. Centre shift control. Of course, all your braking action at the top. Your white strap to hold that the leather seat there, and the bully bars at the back, the wheelie bars at the back. Absolutely fantastic. Star Rider at the bottom, less popular. Rally Commando, mid-ranged, mid-paced bike, aimed at the 10 to 14-year-old market. Commando across the top, of course, based on the magazine at the time, the Commando magazine. Fantastic bike. Look at that, Rally Commando. So we move on to the bikes. Toys are going to end the show. So here we are with the toys. Okay, so we end on the toys. You remember Word Mastermind? Mastermind, then the game where you move the little counters across a little board and no one really understands what the hell's going on. We talked about the Rally Chopper, shapes there, puzzle blocks, never heard of that. Spinning wheel, remember that one. Tom and Jerry, always popular. Backgammon, so some classics there. Mastermind being the one I remember. Flipping across an old guitar and a Spitfire. Some cuddly toys, Humpty Dumpty. Kojak, big on the 70s, Top of the Pops, Annual 1977, Space 1999, Soccer Annual with Kevin Keegan on the front, you should see him now. Sea Warfare, quite advanced for the children's section, for the studious kids. Some smaller toys here, Playcraft by Metoy, remember they tried to take on Lego and failed. A cuddly toy. Crystal decanter and glasses. Remember the brick pot. We all remember the brick block push toy. We always remember the little car there, what they call push and ride. Busybodies then. Remember the two-tone music box TV. Used to play London Bridges Falling Down. A music box record player, which was a very primitive form of stylus and quite ingenious impregnated plastic disc with sort of digits on it, and the Fisher-Price Jumbo Jet, great for your little toys to go inside. I had one of those. Fisher-Price there at the top, you see the logo there for Fisher-Price. So all those Fisher-Price items, very popular. The activity centre, great for the young kids. Used to spin the little coloured disc wheel, telephone dialing pad, a barber's type scrolling wheel, and a push bell, like at the fairground where you would whack the hammer to ring the bell. A talking toy, Mickey Mouse, it's actually a licensed product, as is the Donald Duck. Rod Hull and Emu, I think they went down bad. Aeronautics and Super Electronics, that was my bag there. An electronic kit, had many endless hours playing with that, and the chemistry set. Put a milk bottle tops into, I think, copper sulfate, I might be wrong, but it creates hydrogen. Stick a balloon at the end of the test tube and throw it in the fire. Didn't half make a bang. Electric Lab 2, so this whole page was me. Bar clockmaker, remember the talking dog there. And then on to Lego, it's a no-brainer, as is Meccano. I rest my case with Meccano, we've all done it. You're watching Cortina City, so you've probably had a Meccano or a Fisher Technic kit if you're a bit more well off. Meccano there, you can build anything you want. Remember the Perspex, the plastic sheeting which you could flex to any shape, so you could make the barrel of a boiler of a steam engine. Lego, of course, a no-brainer. As I said, build anything you want with Lego. It's just a done deal. Artmaster, don't even understand it. Super Pin Pictures, might be good. Spirograph, yes. Potter's Wheel, yes. Horses, no. Plasticraft, maybe. So look at this, if I'm missing anything on these toys. I don't want to be biased. Action Man, well, I had the whole range. There's the Sherman Tank, the Commando, the Jeep, Skyhawk, a great system. If you could ever get it to fly, this central support structure would break when it nosedived there, but a great idea with Skyhawk. That's much fun playing with that one. And the howitzer gun, as I said, Sherman Tank and the Jeep. Sidecar and a German setup on this side, give you something to blow up. Never really did Tonto and his mate there with the TP. Bionic Man, look at that, it's the Bionic Man station, a classic. This is really what we're talking about. There, do you remember putting the Bionic Man into that operating theatre? So we had full-on Bionic Man. I even believe he had a glass head at the back that you looked through. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know Eagle Eyes just had the lever switch. And now for your classic car garage, we all had one of these. The elevating multi-storey, multi-access garage, based upon the idea in central London where they stack the cars, nothing new. You would a European idea as well, I believe in the Eastern Bloc, where they stack the cars. Cranes, we're going to go on to Tonka Toys any second, and yes, of course, we have hit Tonka Toy. So Tonka Toy then. Oh, they're all rolling up now. Remember the airport crash. There's the dinky Eagle transporter. Press the centre buttons and the middle section ejects. Great little kit. Kodak police car on Corgi. So some good stuff. The super flight deck now. Remember, you could never get it to work. The wire would snap. You're meant to get the jet to take off from the sort of faux aircraft carrier. Stock car smash up, one of my favourites. Now I did have this one. This was great, a spring-loaded system. Both cars hit each other and release the mechanism, and the car flies into pieces. So that's got a lot to explain. That's got a lot to explain. That one has. Evel Knievel, the rev-up bike, a total classic stunt cycle, an inertia flywheel at the back with a rip tie type plastic zip tie arrangement where you pull it. You know what I'm talking about here, and off he goes with the inertia of the wheel, would set it in motion. That flying helicopter was great. Dalek, something of the time. Matchbox with a double racing set. and the stacked up system there for Matchbox cars. This is all bread and butter now. We're really onto it, and onto the Hornby and Skeletric. It's a double whammy. If you're a Skeletric guy or a Hornby guy, you could even have been both, but it usually was one or the other. There's your Skeletric, say no more. There's your Hornby, say no more. In this case, the Intercity passenger train set. Okay, with your Class 2, Class 3 coaches. And then later on some older stuff for the express passenger train set, and then a dock set, and various other sets as well, made by Airfix, but the Hornby one really being the creme de la creme. Okay, Mark 2, Mark 3 carriages. I think they're Mark 2 carriages in the blue and white with a class, is it a 40? Let's just have a look. D. Are they going to tell us what we've got there? Hornby Intercity Express, headed by a Bayer Peacock Type 3 high-mech diesel. That's good, not a bad description there. Very well done, impressed by the description. Pedal cars, we all had one of those, we all had one of those. All the pedal cars are in. Triang being the market leaders in pedal cars, with the leeway dumper truck if you're feeling a bit industrious. Then the children's market, some rocking horses and some Triang pedal bikes. Children's bikes, then the Tomahawk, the junior version of the Budgie first, then the Tomahawk, then the Chopper. Some children's play outfits, dolls, okay, for the female market, and then for your real small kids. Then your board games, lots of board games, Frustration, Competition, Mousetrap, you remember that one, what a classic. Driving Test was great with a magnetic arm XY arrangement there with this joystick control, and you'd move the bus round the track. Kaplunk, World of the Daleks, I don't remember Kaplunk. Beat the Black Ball, don't remember that one. Whirly Wheelers, Karate Men, I had some of them, they were great, by Aurora. Up Periscope was a great battleship game based on battleships. Monopoly, of course, Scrabble, Stay Alive. Look at these games. Bruce Forsyth's Generation game, long gone now. There's Mastermind again. Operation, okay, based on simple circuit, a 6-volt circuit with a buzzer. Can fit in the organs and essential body parts. If you didn't do it quite right, we'd complete the circuit, make the buzzer go, dartboard, pool tables, and then on to tinned food and long life confectionery. And that is really it. Here's the long life confectionery, biscuits, nuts and cakes, and that would be the end. By the time you got to the spirits, you were either bored, senseless, sozzled, or didn't understand what the hell was going on. Special promotion at the end with the Imado watches, bird spotting book if you're really into it. That concludes my walkthrough of this magazine and a walk around of the cars. I hope you liked it. That keeps you up to date. Look out for Project Bramble. Support us on Patreon. There's lots more on Patreon. Patreon.com/Cortina, and you'll find me on there doing more stuff than I do on YouTube. Well, we always put it on YouTube in the end, so you never lose out. You don't have to join. You don't have to go to Patreon if you don't want. We'll see you when Project Bramble body shell arrives. I grab hold of the camera now and it detaches from the mic mounts, and you go free fall, and there's the car. And I say goodnight until the body shell arrives. This is the last film to be uploaded before Project Bramble starts in this workshop. As I said, there's the welder. There's the spot welder. And slowly taking you around before the film finishes. Any second now we're going to close. Some body panels coming in, ready to build the shell. A great workshop that's nice and warm, ready to build the shell. We move Ruby out of the way. We've got all the tools, we're ready to go. We'll see you soon in YouTube. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the catalogue trip. It was a bit intense, but I bet you that was a trip down memory lane. So say goodbye to the Krypton, all bagged up. Say goodbye to everything else, and we're out of here. We'll see you soon. Good night. Thanks for watching. It's late, it's 5 to 10. We've got to go. Watch out for that body shell and watch out for the new upcoming films on Cortina City. You've found us in a nice warm workshop. You've found us ready to start the project. We did a diversion. We found some old books, magazines. We took you on a little trip down memory lane. Pete C, Cortina City. Till next time, over and out. Good night.